Hi there, welcome back to Pretty Much Flawless. Today in this video, we are going to be doing some SMD soldering. Let's get into it. Alright, here's what we'll be going to be using for soldering surface mount components. So, we are going to be using some isopropyl alcohol, a brush for the alcohol, some tape to hold down the circuit board, solder wick, flux. This is a Decorn 7-inch digital microscope. I did a review on that in a previous video. And also a very fine tip for my soldering iron here. So let's get into it. Have you ever wanted to use surface mount components for your projects, but then you realize that surface mount components don't exactly fit onto a piece of perf board? Feelings of hopelessness are on the rise. But then, out of the darkness, somebody calls, why don't you just use PCBWay? They make custom PCBs for your projects. Design and upload your Gerber files on the website, wait a few days for your PCBs to come. And that's not all they do. They also do CNC machining, 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication, and injection molding. Check out their website. There'll be a link to that in the description down below. And if you're looking to make your own PCBs, I'd really recommend using PCBWay, and look forward to using them again in the future. Alright, so we have the PCB fastened down to the board of the microscope here with some tape. Maybe not the best way to fasten it down, but it should work. It doesn't wiggle too much, which is good. So I'll have to begin soldering on our components. So if you can see this dot right here, that will mark where our chip goes. Here, I'll get a chip up. Right here, you can see that dot right here. We'll have to get that dot lined up with that right there, and that'll be good. So first of all, let's put a little bit of flux down. Alright, that might be a lot of flux, but oh well. Alright, let's try putting the chip on now. Lined up. So right now I'm trying to get all the pins lined up. So these pins right here are kind of lined up. You can see they're off, but these pins at the top and bottom, they're terrible. So we'll see if we can move that into position. Alright. Very good. That looks all lined up. So I'll add a dab of solder to my soldering iron tip here. There we go. That looks like maybe a bit much, but yeah. So we'll push squarely down on the chip here, and I'll just go and touch one of these legs here, the corner leg, not bumping it, and moving it like that. Alright, so I got one leg tacked on, but that is a little bit crooked. So we're going to see if we can just warm that up and get it a little tiny bit straighter. And there we go. I got one leg tacked on. So let's try tacking on another leg here. That one should be on too. Very good. The chip isn't moving anymore. So let's just go along and do that to each of these pins. Just add a little bit of solder on the soldering iron tip. Uh-oh. Got some solder bridge there. That's not good. Oop. Let's add a little bit more solder to our tip here, and we'll keep going. Good. So now we have you can see over here we have a little bit of solder bridge. So let's just try. Oh, that's not helping. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to wipe off our tip, get all the solder we just put on off, and we'll see if we can just kind of clean this up. Alright, that is not really working. Alright, there we go. So after clearing out the one joint, we just caused another problem over here, and there we go. Sometimes it takes a little bit of fiddling around. But sometimes like that, you can get it. And all those joints are looking pretty good. So let's clean it up with some isopropyl alcohol, and then we'll see how it looks. So this is 99% isopropyl alcohol. So that means I have 1% water content. You just want it to be as low water content as possible for electronics, because electronics don't really like water too much. So here we go. It's pretty neat just watching all this stuff evaporate away. So I do have a fan going here just to blow all the fumes away from my face, because that's probably not all that great, breathing in the fumes of this. So alright, that looks very, very good. The chip looks very well soldered on there. So now, let's switch over to resistors. So, I'm going to move the board. Alright, so we have R1, R2, and R3 here. So, you want to make sure you have your right component values before you start soldering. Just because I think it'd be kind of miserable to desolder these. So, we'll want to double and triple check our values before we solder these on. So, alright, so R1 is a 1K ohm resistor. Alright, so I found my resistor here. So this is a 1K resistor. So what we'll do is we will cut off this one resistor here, but making sure it doesn't go flying into oblivion. So alright, so I ripped it apart, and there we go, there's our resistor. So we don't want to lose that, so let's just, oh, there it is, perfect. Alright, so it looks like it needs to be facing the other way. So let's flip it around. And there we go, perfect. Yeah, you want the letter side up. And there we go. Perfect, so let's get this, first of all, let's add a little bit of flux. Might be a bit much there. Alright, good. So let's put this right here. Oop. There we go. Trying to get it very, very straight. So this time, what we'll do is we'll do something kind of similar. So what we'll do is take our soldering iron tip. You will add a little bit of solder. And then we'll go over here. So we want to make sure our tweezers are we want to make sure we're holding this right here. so it doesn't fly away on us while trying to solder it. And it's a little bit crooked, but we could try warming up again. Oh, there we go. So the one side isn't very good. So what we'll do is we'll go over to the other side here, and we will solder this other side. A good connection there, and then we'll come back over to this side and we'll just touch that again. Just get that very good. Get that all nice and clean there. There we go. And very good. That looks like a very, very good resistor soldered. So that is R1. I'm just going to double check. R2 is 10K. So we'll do the same thing. Very good. The same thing, we'll put a little bit of alcohol on it. It's just to clean up the heads and everything. So yes. So doing surface mount capacitors or any component that's, or inductors or any component that looks like this would all be a very similar process. Just you have to get it lined up. So yeah. I guess the only thing about this is just how small it is. Like my last video, I did a review on this microscope that I'm currently using right now, and it works very, very well for the surface mount application here. I can get right zoomed in. I can record videos and show you guys. But yeah, so that's one of the things. You need to have some good magnification because it is pretty small. Very good. So yeah, so today we soldered this chip on, and we soldered these 3 surface mount resistors. So I hope this helped you. So in a future video we will try uploading to this chip right here. As you can see, there's no USB port on the circuit board here, so we'll have to try to upload to this ATmega 328P. That'll be in a future video. Thanks for watching this video today. Hope you learned something. If you did, please subscribe. That would really help my channel, and I'll see you next time.